This game will kill Dead by Daylight. 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 Shut the fuck up. These games will not kill Dead by Daylight. No game will ever kill Dead by Daylight. But every single time there's a new asymmetrical horror game, people are like, this game will kill Dead by Daylight. So let's talk about these Dead by Daylight killers and why, in my opinion, no game will ever kill Dead by Daylight. But before that, if you want me to come on your mom's titties, then don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. Okay, to be honest, Dead by Daylight has a massive community across many different platforms. This game is on PC, on consoles, it's on mobile, and even Nintendo Switch. You can literally play Dead by Daylight on whatever the fuck you want. This kid tried to boot Dead by Daylight on your microwave. Don't do it, kids. Microwave is not gonna work. But even though Dead by Daylight has many players who play this game at least once in a while, it doesn't mean that all of them respect this game. In fact, there are a lot of players who enjoy playing Dead by Daylight, but they hate developers of this game. Don't get me wrong, I don't praise developers of Dead by Daylight in any way. In fact, I like to critique them very often, but I believe that there are many worse developers than Dead by Daylight, and if I have something negative to say about Dead by Daylight developers, then I do it out of love for this game. That's right, I love Dead by Daylight. It's a really fun game, but there are a lot of stupid fuckers who play this game every day and then they are hoping for Dead by Daylight to die. Can you imagine that? They want this game to die. The weirdest part is that most of those people have thousands of hours in this game and they have spent at least $100 on this game, and they are too stupid to realize that if Dead by Daylight dies, then all of their money spent on this game will die too. Also, all of their memories will just be memories, and one day they will think of those memories and they will think, I wish I could play Dead by Daylight right now. But hey, it was them who wanted this game to die in the first place, right? You know what's funny? Every time a new game similar to Dead by Daylight, like one killer versus a couple survivors, you know, comes out, those people are like, oh my god, this game is gonna kill Dead by Daylight. This is a better version of Dead by Daylight. You should stop playing Dead by Daylight because Dead by Daylight is gonna be dead. And less than 2 weeks later, all of those games that were supposed to kill Dead by Daylight, they are dead. They got 0 players playing them. The first one of those potential Dead by Daylight killers. It sounds funny for me to say potential Dead by Daylight killer. It's actually Friday the 13th, the game. And honestly, Friday the 13th is probably the best out of those potential Dead by Daylight killers, because this game came out on a similar date when Dead by Daylight came out, and I don't believe that Dead by Daylight had any licensed chapters back then, but correct me if I'm wrong. And Friday the 13th had a cool concept, and developers promised a bunch of content updates and, you know, a bunch of bright things in the future. And then sadly the whole lawsuit drama with the franchise began, and developers were eventually forced to stop making content updates for the game. And a lot of fuckers are saying, but if Friday the 13th still received content updates, then it would kill Dead by Daylight. Fuck no, it would not kill Dead by Daylight. Friday the 13th is a video game centered around one specific franchise. How much of new content related to Friday the 13th movies or books can they add to this video game? Think about it. It's not much. This game would have eventually come to an end, and you know, if they developed more content updates, probably at this time they would completely seal off the whole content development, because there would be nothing to develop for that game. game. Take a look at Dead by Daylight. This game is not centered around any specific horror franchise. Instead, they are adding original chapters that they can be completely endless. Also, they can add any character from any book, video game, or movie, TV show, you know. This game has endless possibilities compared to, for example, Friday the 13th, the game. After Friday the 13th, we had a bunch of potential Dead by Daylight competitors, but no game has come even close to what Dead by Daylight has achieved. In fact, basically all of them are dead, and I'm not saying that's a good thing, because I believe competition is an amazing thing, and Dead by Daylight needs a competitor, because competition would force developers to behave more consumer friendly, and they would force developers of Dead by Daylight to fix the majority of games' problems, which Dead by Daylight has a bunch of problems, I will give you that, and developers are fucking lazy to fix most of them. And Dead by Daylight is the only money-making machine for developers. They do not want to see this game die. Dead by Daylight developers have tried to make different games in the past, but they all died because they were not profitable. People would not play them. But Dead by Daylight is a very successful game. So I believe that developers are putting all of their resources into making new content, even though they suck at fixing bugs and cheating issues, but they put a lot of resources into making sure that people play this game, that this game doesn't die. And I can see myself playing this game 10 years after today. I can see this game lasting as long as our lifetimes. I believe that games we have today, like League of Legends, CSGO, Valorant, Dead by Daylight, these games are meant to last for as long as possible. Do you remember those days when the new game came out, we would get a couple DLCs, it would last for like 2 years, and then we would get a sequel? Those days are in the past. Now developers want to make no sequels anymore. They will focus on developing one game for years and years and years and years. And I really hope that we will get to see a real competitor for Dead by Daylight someday, because first of all, this competition would not kill Dead by Daylight. It's developers who can kill this game if they don't behave properly. And second of all, competition is really beneficial for all of us, because it would force developers to be more consumer friendly. Think of competition in this way. Imagine a new game comes out and there's like Leatherface, Jason Voorhees, and freaking Jack Torrance from The Shining. Okay, all of these iconic characters. And the game has almost zero bugs. Of course you want to play the game, but does it mean that you will uninstall Dead by Daylight? Most likely no, because you have spent thousands of hours and money in Dead by Daylight, and you will still want to come back and play Dead by Daylight at least now and then. And also, this competition forces Dead by Daylight developers to add more interesting licenses into their game and fix, for example, cheating problem, which is beneficial for all of us. Not to mention that it's really hard to compete with Dead by Daylight these days, because Dead by Daylight has so many licensed characters from all of the different movies and video games and books that, you know, it's very hard for another game to come up with this many different horror icons. That's what I think. Thank you for watching until the end. It really took me a while to make this video. I would appreciate if you subscribed to this channel, and please share this video with all of the other people, because I'm really struggling to get views and I'm really trying my best, but I really want to be a big Dead by Daylight content creator, so please share this video and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, thanks for your time, and I'll see you later. Ciao!